If you're looking for a performance car under $15,000, you may have realized that it's somewhat difficult in the current state of the car market. Maybe you've even seen websites and videos that are making suggestions of cars that you like in this price range, only to be let down when you see what they actually cost. But don't worry, I've got you covered. I'm going to walk you through 10 of the best performance bargains on the market in 2023 under 15 grand, as well as proving the prices of each one, showing actual current listings to make sure that you stay within your budget. On top of that, they all come with a manual transmission, so let's get started. Starting off in 10th, we have the early 2000s Lexus IS 300. At first glance, you might look at it and wonder why on earth would I put that here, but my reasoning lies underneath the hood. If you're into cars, you've probably encountered the people that swear the Mark IV Toyota Supra was the best car ever made. Now this is because the legendary inline 6 known as the 2JZ. Surprisingly, these IS 300s also come with that same 2JZ engine where modification possibilities are absolutely endless. So essentially, for under 15 grand, you end up with a luxurious and practical sedan that has bulletproof reliability and one of the best engines ever created. Although it's not super quick in its stock form and may not have the most visual appeal, it definitely earns consideration. Now right here is a listing of a 2003 Lexus IS 300, which is obviously the latest year that we can find with the 2JZ engine. This was only listed for $15,000, had a clean title, and only had 80,000 miles on the odometer, which is really good for a 20-year-old car. In 9th, I have the Mark VII Volkswagen Golf GTI, a nimble hot hatch with a great interior and respectable performance. If you want to buy a newer car and not take the risk of something older giving you consistent problems, this is a great option. Within $15,000, you'll mainly want to look for the earlier 2015 to 2018 models, but even the newer ones can be found on occasion. The turbocharged engine in these cars makes a nice sound and produces potent power, mated with a manual transmission and a balanced chassis layout, and you'll be having loads of fun in this car. The only thing to watch out for would be the price of parts, as it is a Volkswagen, but aside from that, the Golf GTI is certainly a quality option. Now, of all the cars I'm going to talk about today, the Volkswagen Golf GTI is definitely one of the harder ones to find well under $15,000. This seemed to be the best overall deal that I could find, with 78,000 miles on the odometer and just a tad over 15 grand, but that in all likelihood could be negotiated within the budget, so it's doable, but it is definitely a little bit difficult. Moving on to 8th, we have one of my favorites, the Subaru WRX. With a well-engineered all-wheel drive system, this rally legend sprints to 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, one of the quickest cars on this list. This generation of the WRX also retained unequal length headers, responsible for that iconic Boxster rumble, a feature unique to the STI and the newer generation. A WRX is also a great car if you want to learn how to work on a car, and is exactly actually where I learned. There are so many aftermarket parts available, and through installing them myself, I was able to build my mechanical skill. However, it's worth noting that upgrades won't be the only thing that you're going to be wrenching on, because these cars can be troublesome in the reliability department. But hey, that's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. So this right here is a pretty good deal that I found. This is a 2013 WRX, so one of the newer ones. It only has 70,000 miles on it and is listed for under $15,000. The main thing that you're going to want to look for when searching for one of these cars is to make sure that it has a clean title, no accidents or damage, as that's pretty common, but the good deals are out there. In 7th place, we have the Nissan 350Z. As much as I would have loved to put the 370Z here, the market for both of these cars has gotten disproportionately inflated. Some 370Zs with over 100,000 miles are selling around $20,000, which I find absolutely ridiculous. However, the 350Z can be found a bit more easily within our budget and is still an awesome car. Powered by an ultra-reliable, naturally aspirated V6, the 350Z is no slouch. Especially if you slap on 2 spoolie snails, and you very well might have yourself a supercar slayer. If you're looking for a drift car, I would argue that this is one of your better options, and on the flip side, the 350Z doesn't do particularly well in a track setting due to its floaty suspension. All in all, I would say the 350Z is certainly a pretty decent option. Now the 350Z is a rather easy find under $15,000. Here's one of the better ones I found with only 70,000 miles on it, and most importantly, a clean title as well. Getting on to number 6 is what I would consider the most well-rounded car on this list. The Ford Focus ST is a manual transmission only turbocharged hot hatch that stands up well to abuse. These cars are reliable, quick in a straight line, practical, and can be bought rather new with low mileage within $15,000. An intake, a downpipe, and a tune also makes these cars absolutely rapid, and if anything goes wrong, parts are relatively cheap. This is the last hot hatch on my list, and it's also my personal favorite of the ones that we've covered so far. They do eat brakes, so be sure to upgrade those if you do plan on regular track use. I will say the market for these cars is a little bit inflated right now. I remember looking at them a few months back and being much easier to find well within $15,000. Now it's a little bit harder, but still doable. Here's one with 80,000 miles, clean title, under 15 grand. At number 5, we have the 3rd generation Mazda NC Miata, a great track car with ultra cheap maintenance costs. Yes, it's very slow in the acceleration department, but everything else about these cars is absolutely fantastic. They're ultra simple to work on, they're a blast around a turn, and bring out the best in a person's driving skill. In cooler weather, the Miata's convertible top also adds another element to the experience. Although the previous generations are also readily available in this price range, the extra power in the NC Miata really seems to make a difference, and I also think that it is the best looking of the group. This is indeed what I would consider the cheapest car on this list, and that is quite important here because the Miata is really meant to be enjoyed in a track or autocross setting, and if you want to do that effectively and safely, the best thing that you could do is buy one of these for $10,000 to $12,000, which you can get a really high quality one for that price, and then take that extra $2,000 or $3,000 and put it into maybe a roll cage, oil cooling, brake pads, brake rotors, or any of the other kind of stuff that can bring the car up to the level that you want it to be at. And that's what's beautiful about these cars, is the money definitely gives you a little bit of room for modification. In 4th is the Subaru BRZ, which is also known as the Scion FRS or the Toyota 86. Highly similar to the Miata, the BRZ has a little bit more power along with a back seat and is only found in the coupe format. The FA20 Boxster engine in these cars keeps the center of gravity low, making them one of the best handling cars I have personally ever driven. Like the Miata, they come to life on the track and handle abuse very well. I owned one for about a year, and if you want, you can find my in-depth review of the car in the description if this is a car that's of interest to you. The insurance on these is quite pricey because of the amount of them that get crashed, but other than that, the BRZ is an affordable driver's car. The market for them is rather interesting because there's the 3 variants. For whatever reason, based on which variant you get, they seem to be in a different price range. The Toyota variant, the 86, seems to be the highest priced, with the BRZ being somewhere in the middle, and the ones that you're going to find the best and cheapest deals on are the FRS. For example, this one right here only has 60,000 miles and is listed for $14,500 with a clean title. So I would shoot for the FRS if you're trying to save money, but if you're really looking for the Subaru or the Toyota, they are also out there. Reaching our top 3, I have the early Generation 5 Mustang GT. This is a visually appealing performance classic, and it comes with an unmistakable V8 roar out of an ultra-reliable 4.6-liter engine that's commonly referred to as the Ford 3-valve. Although quite powerful, the Mustang really separates itself from everything that we've previously discussed when we're talking about torque. 320 foot-pounds of it means effortless low-end acceleration that enables more casual driving. I love the Gen 5 Camaros as well, but they seem to hop out of this price range if you want one in the proper V8 format. If you're into muscle cars and working with this kind of budget, this is a really fascinating car. And one of the major reasons that I have it on the list this high is because it's oddly enough one of the cheapest cars we've talked about. It's super easy to find them with really low mileage, well within $15,000. This one right here has less than 50,000 miles on the odometer and can be picked up for 15 grand today with a clean title. I think that's a heck of a deal. At second, I have the late C4 Corvettes. With nearly identical acceleration and power figures, the C4 is an alternative to the Mustang if you desire a powerful rear-wheel drive V8 platform. Where the C4 Corvette wins out is better handling, virtue of weighing 200 pounds less. It also fits further into the sports car category with an ultra-sleek design that can be spotted from a mile away. They are fast, reliable, and cheap to maintain. The trade-off comes in the form of a pretty terrible interior alongside the risks associated with owning a 30-year-old car. Regardless, the C4 Corvette is a hard offer to pass up. And like the Mustang, part of the reason that I have the C4 Corvette so high is because they're such an easy find under $15,000. This one here only has 50,000 miles on it and is listed for only $13,500, which can honestly be negotiated significantly further down. Something else to note is that if you look on Facebook Marketplace for these cars, they're even cheaper. They are pretty much everywhere. There was a ton of them made, and there's a lot of people that are looking to just get rid of it for $8,000 to $10,000, even with pretty low mileage. Taking my top spot for a performance car under $15,000 is the 986 Porsche Boxster. It's truly incredible that a mid-engine Porsche Roadster even exists in this price range. A car that is perfectly balanced, handles like a dream, and houses a screaming flat 6 is a massive bargain. It might not be lightning quick in a straight line, but everything else is beyond amazing. To learn much more about the 986, see my recent review of one in the description. I promise you will not be disappointed. As much as I love the 986 and what it has to offer, I do have to warn you of the IMS bearing failure. It's a rare but possible occurrence on these cars that basically just destroys the entire engine, so be aware that is a risk that you take, but one that could very well be worth taking. This is another car where Facebook Marketplace is essentially a gold mine of them, but online, here's one that I found for $15,000 with only 38,000 miles on it, so this is another car that falls well within the $15,000 budget. Those were my top 10 used performance cars available right now under $15,000. Please let me know if I missed anything, along with what other options are out there down in the comments. This will help those seeking a car in this price range in seeing all of the other options available to them, and it would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, please go check out my 986 Boxster review, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.